Recently, one of the most infamous lolcows, Daniel Larson, has been on a spree of rage, self-destruction, and threats all across the internet. Spouting threats to innocent people, constantly having his phone that seemingly has data to go live while in the wild, being able to eat at fancy restaurants, afford motel and hotel rooms, and take trips to California to New York City, all the while being homeless and never having a job. It got me thinking, how is it possible for someone like Daniel to roam around living in such luxury? Then it hit me, enablers. Something that almost every lolcow, infamous or not, has is enablers. Whether it be not disciplining their bad behavior, allowing them access to their vices with no restrictions, or sending them money so they can continue down their path of damnation. There tends to be a never-ending supply of people who might feel pity and end up playing into their downfall. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a look at some of the most prevalent enablers in our favorite lolcows' lives and ask ourselves, why? Why do they do it? And will they ever stop and get the person actual legitimate help? Like always, if you like what you see here, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more. It's greatly appreciated. But anyways, on to our first contestant. Robert Proctor was once a longtime mentor of Daniel and a prominent figure in his life. Daniel first met Bob through a reading buddy program at a place called Tennyson Center, a facility Daniel went to for schooling and living while he was a teenager. While Daniel was staying there, he attended a reading buddy program once a week, where in his words, he and Bob really hit it off, enough that the center permitted them to have a relationship outside of their program. At the time, Daniel's grandmother, Miss Nancy Schimmer, or Scheimer, I'm not too sure, developed a friendship with Bob where they play board games and spend time together. Nancy was Daniel's primary caretaker, and after she passed, Bob served as the catalyst for all things that she did, including Daniel's music career, paying up to $2,000 one time for the production of his first banger of a song, Roaring Thunder.
It's been a long time, never thought this would be. You always been mine, but I have to be free. Golden sunsets, reflections on the sea,
as well as another song named Something More. Although Daniel relies mostly on fan donations, Bob is known to frequently pay for Daniel's food, travel expenses, and sleeping arrangements. But of course, Daniel has done nothing but take his generosity for granted by constantly demanding more from him, frequently arguing with him, and on some occasions even assaulting him within his own vehicle. That's right, I'm talking about the infamous date, December 10th, where Daniel will end up assaulting Bob. The cause of the altercation is unknown, but what is known is that a hysterical and dangerous Daniel would barge into the vehicle, claiming the motel he planned to stay at threatened to kill him, while hammering his own nose over and over with his fists, causing him to bleed profusely. This prompted Bob to tell Daniel to leave his vehicle, otherwise he would call the police. Daniel obviously didn't listen, so Bob kept to his promise. This enraged Daniel, in which he then began to strike Bob, saying that he doesn't listen to him and that he broke his arm. Just a heads up, I'm gonna show the clip. I usually don't give warnings or nothing like that, because if you're watching me, you're in it for the long run, so f it. But it is an old man getting beat up, but honestly, it's just, for me personally, it's the sound of his fist hitting his nose. Like, you ever been punched in the nose, bruh? You ever been hit in the face by like a ball or a fist or something? That shit hurts, man. And this fucking is like pummeling his nose, man. There's no... Anyways, get ready for it. The motel threatened to kill me.
Oh, Daniel! No! Get the hell out of my car! God damn! Get out of my car!
No, you don't understand! You don't... Stop!
Get
It's
out
not
of my
my
car!
fault! It's not my fault! It's
Get
not
out
my
of my
fault!
car!
The motel! The motel! The motel
my
just
car.
threatened to kill me!
Get out of my car!
Stop! The motel threatened to kill me! The motel threatened to kill me! The
Get out of
motel
my car,
threatened to
Daniel.
kill me!
Get out of my
No!
car! Get out of my
No,
car,
I'm not
Daniel!
going to! I'm not going to! I'm bleeding!
Yeah, you're bleeding because you're hitting yourself.
But you
I've
don't...
got to get help. I've got to get help. I've got to
No.
call the police.
No, I'm bleeding
I've got
all
to
over
call
me.
the police.
No, the motel threatened to kill me! The motel threatened to kill me!
I've got to call the police. I've got to get you out of here. Yeah, you've got to get out of my car.
The motel threatened to kill me! The motel threatened to kill me! The motel threatened to kill me! The motel threatened to kill me!
Calling the police.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Hey,
Because of this, Bob would do a very sensible thing and fly Daniel out to LA of all places, the reason being unknown. If anybody knows why he did that, I want to know. I read rumors that they believe Daniel will be locked away in a mental facility because of something called 5150 laws, but that didn't happen, so if anybody knows, please let me know. But despite Bob and Daniel's issues, Bob has continued to support him, even buying him a new phone after Daniel broke his while touring in Texas. Up until recently, Bob cut contact with Daniel for the most part, until a situation where Bob was supposed to take Daniel out to eat, and his only request was for Daniel to not do anything dumb on his phone and cause issues like he usually does. Daniel obviously said no to that because he can't go 1 second without his phone for some reason. It's like his teddy bear. You know how some people have, like, you know, a safety teddy bear or like a safety pet or whatever? That's his phone. So then Daniel tried to guilt trip Bob with the situation, saying he won't have anything to eat tonight, and he started to get a little bit antsy.
So, are we going to get dinner, or are you taking me back to the motel and I'm just gonna not have anything for dinner? And I'm not gonna eat today at all. And I guess I'll starve tonight. So what is it?
Get out!
I'm not gonna do it. Because I had my phone.
Get the fucking out of my car!
Okay.
So I guess Bob got a little bit of PTSD from last time and immediately kind of snapped and told him to get out of his vehicle. From the looks of it, it seems like Bob hit him first, but honestly, does it really matter?
Don't fucking grab me.
You want me to break your fucking arm?
If you break my arm,
Then get the fuck out of my car!
Okay, then let go of me, fucker. If you fucking hit me, nigger. Holy fuck, where did my phone go? Where did my fucking phone go? Oh, you are hitting me!
You're hitting me! God damn you!
You hit me first, bitch!
Get out of my car!
You hit me first!
He did tell him multiple times to leave the vehicle, and Daniel said no, so I probably would have done the same thing. A lot worse than what Bob did. During this altercation though, Bob was able to get Daniel out of the vehicle and drive off, in which Daniel said that he struck him with the vehicle, which is not, it isn't seen on video, and I highly doubt it considering the fact that Daniel was not, he wasn't fazed at all. He just kind of stood there while yelling and frantically looking for his phone.
Ow! Fucking!
Get away from my car!
Holy fucking hell! You ran over me! Fucker! Fucker, nigga! You fucking ran over me, fucker!
Which, could you imagine? Imagine if, because it seemed like he knocked the phone out of his hand in the car and then drove off. Could you imagine if the phone was left in the vehicle and Daniel was just like without technology? Would that be better for him or would it be worse? I'm not too sure. Even though this recent situation seems like Bob has learned his lesson, none of us are really aware if this will be the end of their relationship, but personally I'm hoping it is, because there's literally no point to help someone who is such a lost cause, you know? Especially someone who isn't even related to you. I've been reading up on rumors about why it is that Bob continues to help him out. It could be some kind of death clause or whatever you want to call it with Nancy. It could be that he actually genuinely feels bad for Daniel. Or maybe he sees him as like a son of some kind to him. But it's quite obvious that Daniel has changed for the worse, and it doesn't look like he's going to get better anytime soon. So Bob, do yourself a favor and focus on yourself. You're up in age, man. You don't need to be getting that Nate Diaz special in your own fucking car. Sally Wilkins is Cyraxx's biological grandmother and also his adoptive guardian. She took custody of Cyraxx after his mother, Connie, gave him away due to her not being able to care for him, and after his father went to prison for doing unspeakably horrible things to an innocent girl on a bike path. She's mostly seen in the background of Cyraxx's live streams, feeling his delusions and begging him to stop screaming at the top of his already deflated lungs. Like I said, she is his primary caretaker, which means she's known for cooking his food, buying all his necessities, bathing him, and of course protecting him from all those damn dirty trolls on the internet. She's enabled Cyraxx's reign of terror since grade school, where he was known to throw fits of rage and curse out his teachers, never allowing the school system to punish him the way he deserved and most desperately needed. One of her most egregious moments of enabling was when she refused to reprimand Cyraxx for assaulting blind Billy in one of the most disgusting displays of negligence, even asking Billy after the fact, "Why tell the authorities? Why not just come to me so we can avoid trouble?" Although she goes far and beyond for Cyraxx, he shows no respect for her whatsoever, keeping her up all hours of the night playing music, hurling slurs, throwing shit at the walls, and getting the police called to their house every 5 minutes. I'm not sure if this is still the case, but at one point it had gotten so bad, Sally began sleeping in the living room to avoid the constant noise. Now anybody who lives in a bad area sleeping in your living room is like asking to get shot during a home invasion, or maybe that's just me. If you're well versed in Cyraxx lore, you're probably aware of the attack of 2012. It's kind of like Cyraxx's bite of 87, but if you aren't aware of the details, to summarize it, on February 14th, Jesus Christ, on fucking Valentine's Day? I didn't even know that. On February 14th, 2012, Cyraxx attacked Sally by hitting her after she turned her back to him and choked her out pretty badly, after she told him that he couldn't walk to Kansas of all places to live with a catfish girlfriend of his. Luckily, Ed was at the house at the time, so he was able to get Rax off of her, in which he then fled before being arrested. Now, because she must like being abused, she didn't press charges once again, allowing him to get off scot-free. And from the footage we've seen in recent times, where Cyraxx kind of just darts off, I don't think she was even afraid that, he was gonna hurt somebody. I think she was just afraid that he was out there alone, which is just sad. She never allows Cyraxx to learn from his actions, and sometimes she even directly encourages his behavior by ignoring the mass amounts of evidence online showing Rax's perversion, turning a blind eye when he blatantly lies to law enforcement, and in one of the most funniest yet infuriating parts of Rax lore, fueling his delusions about an attempted assassination where Rax claimed Music Biz Marty hired someone to fire a rifle into his window while he was asleep and take his life. If you don't know, Cyraxx was live streaming at the time, and although he was startled by the noise, he wasn't really alarmed until the next day after buddy trolls made up a lie, saying they saw a bullet fly through the window. Initially, he even seemed annoyed that his chat was asking him to check out the noise, moments after it happened.
Bitch channel ran around to everybody, including Music Biz Marty, saying that I her when I never even met her. Was that? I know y'all heard that.
He claimed to find a whole bullet lodged into his mattress and took a picture of it. The photo was obviously either just a Google image or there's a pre-existing hole in his mattress which he enlarged and claimed there was a bullet inside. After being called out for making up such a dumbass story and not being able to show any evidence, Cyraxx then claimed the bullet was made of ice, which is why he was unable to produce something physical. Somehow the police were called about the situation, and obviously smelling the bullshit in the air, they barely even engaged, all the while Sally egged the situation on, believing that someone actually tried to take her son's life that night. And as far as this current legal case goes, she's done nothing but allow Cyraxx to call the shots and maneuver the situation how he wants to, most likely reassuring him that he's not at fault for any of this, even though multiple lawyers, the people whose job it is to help decide who's at fault, has told him that he's at fault. But there's no doubt in my mind she'll continue to let him get away with things until he's out of her custody or until she inevitably kicks the bucket. I have my theories as to why she's the way she is. The cops call her a 43 as well, which if you don't know, 43 is slang for mentally disturbed over there, and she obviously is. And I used to have this theory that she was kind of like Dayton Hypernova's parents, where they're so Christian that they will never abandon their son no matter how bad things get, which is admirable, kind of, but in Dayton's case, I find it hilarious because he hates Christianity like an edgelord, but it's the only reason why he's still in that house. But in recent years, it's obvious that Sally is not religious, or if she was, she's doing a piss poor job at following it, considering she doesn't really care about all the horrible things that Cyraxx has done, or even her own son has done, because she even lies about what he did. Like, come on, Sally, you're an adult, why are you afraid of the truth, man? Like, why? I don't know. I don't understand why adults lie. I never will get it.
Crying me up!
Enablers for Chris are a bit different. Although his parents excused his bad behavior from childhood to adulthood, and didn't take advice from trolls or the school system when they said Chris would be better off in an environment for children with his handicap, my opinion is that falls more into neglect rather than enabling, even though they're kind of the same thing, but like I said, Chris is a little bit different. But that being said, the devotees of Chris Chan Sonic Chew, aka DOCCS, yes, that's what Chris calls him himself because he's a fucking narcissist, are those who encouraged or directly allow his behavior to go unchecked by either financially supporting him or delving into his fantasies. or the ever so elusive counter trolls who fight to protect Chris from bad big meanies calling him out for his poor actions. Let's begin with the fantasy enablers though. Chris has always had a poor grip on reality, and no doubt that's been withered away as the years have gone on. Some played along with his broken psyche in order to be nice, while others deliberately misled him into believing things detrimental to his health in order to gain things from him. Either way though, this caused him to believe in things such as him being a goddess of some kind who was worthy of worship, and causing his already inflated ego to go out of whack, creating a cult of some kind in his mind who are awaiting what he calls the dimensional merge. Obviously these are just the ramblings of a madman, but many people decide to follow these ramblings as if he was speaking gospel, either for a meme or maybe they themselves are also mentally ill. Most likely the latter, considering if you ever look at these people's profiles, you can kind of immediately tell. Besides condoning his beliefs, most of his enabling comes from what we call pay pigs. Though his situation is not nearly as dire as it was during the financial crisis, Chris remains as irresponsible with money as ever, not to mention him adamantly refusing to get a job. Mind you, not because he can't, but because he's just genuinely that lazy. And for the people who are gonna say, oh my god, his mental health, no, get the fuck out of here. I know plenty of autistic people who work really demanding jobs like hardcore retail or warehouse jobs, so please get out of here with that shit. As a result, he demands money from people, not ask, but genuinely demands money from other people, or for them to buy his junk.
Hello everybody, Christine Chandler coming to you live from home once again, and the mortgage payment is really due tomorrow, and we have to make 2 month payments this month, and we need like $200, so please get on eBay, buy the shit, buy the stuff, buy the things off of eBay. We need more money. And by the way, where did the money go from a bunch of previous sales recently? Oh, I caught up in the past 3 months of the Patreon books, and the rest of the money had to go towards the bills and everything, okay? So please buy now. We need mortgage payment. We need food for the rest of the month. Buy stuff over the eBay. I gave you my mother. There is no excuse. This is truth. This is no lie. Bye now.
And when his own words aren't enough, he uses his elderly mother to garner sympathy from ignorant onlookers. Whether it be buying him gifts, buying his overpriced merchandise, or commissioning bad drawings from him that he only fulfilled like half the time, it was a technique used by enablers to either feel good about themselves or try to get into Chris's inner circle for whatever reason. There are plenty of examples of people throwing money at Chris, but if you take a look at this chart here, you can see that approximately $18,000 has been given to Chris over the years. And if you take a look at this chart here, you'll see the people who donated money to him are called goofy dumbass niggas, but sorry. I will say though, from that amount, $500 was given to him after the Sonic Shoe Temple burned down, which to me is the only thing that was worth giving him finances for. But even when that money was given, he threw a tar rage and called the donors dumb because he didn't know how to cash his check.
The Chandlers felt that there was an error with the money order, so Chris went to Facebook to lodge a complaint. Hey, Dodo Brain, thanks a lump. You did not sign the front of the money order that came in the big box. The bank is unable to do anything with it.
So classic Chris. So an observation that I've made is that a lot of his donors seem to be like him, I guess, the best way to put it. People who don't usually think before acting or believing things. Saying things like, is it wrong to support her? Or, I'm just supporting a fellow sister. Which, come on now. Whether you think it's morally right or wrong to support this man is up to you, but one thing I hope we can all agree on is that enabling Chris or people like him gives them no motivation to change for the better, ultimately making their lives difficult in the long run. What's going to happen when those benefactors get tired of their kindness being used against them? Or when one of them can no longer support you, or better yet, they just die. You're left without any skills to fend for yourselves or the mentality of even doing so. And a lot of people get upset when I or others criticize people like Chris because they'll always see him as a victim, when in reality it was that victimhood that made this outcome, and in the end the money you're giving them is going to video games and toys anyways. So at the end of the day, one might ask themselves, how did it get like this? How did we allow obviously dangerous people to roam free, preying on the innocent, and having no repercussions other than a slap on the wrist? Well, curious viewer, in 1981, President Ronald Reagan made major efforts during his governorship to reduce funding and enlistment to mental institutions, pushing a political effort through the US Congress to repeal most of the MHSA, aka the Mental Health Systems Act. Doing this cut funding for many mental health facilities around America, contributing to poor mental health infrastructure. This caused the mentally ill to roam free, breeding, populating, fighting in McDonald's and living in LA. Oh, Jesus. But no, seriously, that's up for you guys to decide who's at fault here. This is one of those gray area topics. But in the end, I hope it has a positive outcome, and the people who do wrong should be punished for their wrongdoings. That's what I'm gonna keep saying. Anyways, thank you for checking out my videos. If you like the video, please leave a like, please leave a sub. It's super appreciated. It helps out the channel a lot. Tell me what you think about each enabler in the comments. You know, do you feel bad for them? Do you feel like they deserve it, or they put themselves in that position? Also, let me know if there's somebody else you guys want me to talk about. I know there's other lolcows too, or even if it's not a lolcow specifically, like just somebody else who's acting kind of goofy nowadays. Just let me know, and I'll see if I can get to that. But anyways, take care, drink water, move your body, breathe air. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
We all know this is something that you'll never forget, so let us send this message loud and clear. We are the Lizard Squad, and we are nothing to fear because we think we're smart and hacking's an art. Anonymous would tear us apart, so we'll sit back, relax, try you some more, making Xbox and PlayStation our little whore.